Welcome to the Owatonna Today Show. I am your host, Francy Hall, and we are your community connection. Thank you so much for joining us. Coming up, we have a great interview with Dee Teller, who is the featured artist at the Owatonna Arts Center this month. She is actually a world-renowned artist. She won the first prize in Beijing for an international Chinese art competition, as well as numerous awards here in the United States. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. We want you to know also, if you know of an interesting person, an activity, a program, an event coming up, we would love to hear from you. We get a lot of tips from people, and that's some of our shows come from those tips. So feel free to give us a call, Facebook us, Twitter us, and let us know what's interesting you right now. Please stick with us. After a word from our sponsors, we'll be right back with Dee Teller.
Hi, I'm Jody Voisin with the staff at Fairview Animal Medical Center, your other family doctor. Fairview Animal Medical Center is a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, I'm Rick Smith, Golf Course Superintendent of the Brooktree Golf Course. Brooktree is an 18-hole championship golf course featuring well-manicured greens, tees, and fairways. We are open to the public. I challenge you to find a better maintained golf course for the money we charge here at Brooktree. Come on out and play Brooktree, a great golf course.
Hello, I'm David Einhaus with the Owatonna Foundation. Thank you to all of our donors who have helped make Owatonna a better place to live. Will you join us today with a financial gift? Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. We have a real treat. Today we are visiting with Dee Teller. She is the featured artist at the Owatonna Arts Center, featuring her art July 5th through the 26th. And so for those of you who don't know Dee, we're going to get to know a little bit about her and about the art that's going to be shown. So hello, Dee.
Hi.
Welcome.
I'm really glad to be here. I love the Owatonna community.
If you don't notice, we're actually in her studio, so it's a really interesting place. We got to see some of the things that are in here.
High power energy.
It's good energy. Is this a lot of feng shui and good chi and all of that?
It really is.
So tell us a little bit. A little bit about the art show. We know when it starts, but what is the inspiration behind this?
It was a real challenge for me, which was cool. I paint the horses. And in the Asian way, you leave all this empty space. And so the grant that I received was to take my flying horses and put them in Minnesota landscape. So in order to do that, I had to wander. And if you are a Chinese scholar from the ancient times, you would get on horseback, go through a mountain for 7 days, return, and then you would either write the poetry or paint about the mountains. So I traveled Minnesota. So I did the bluffs by Winona. So one of the paintings is Sugarloaf Bluff. And I did by the Mississippi River and also the Root River. So I have those. And the pipestone, I did a waterfall with a spirit horse coming out of it because of the Native American message when you get there and what you feel and that sort of thing. And I had purchased a peace pipe, and I have...
Was that from Pipestone?
I purchased that at Pipestone. And so I've given credit to the artists that carved the pipe. The Native Americans have to be at least 1/4 Native American to be able to do the stone. And so his pipe has a turtle and mine has a horse, but so that's another one of the things from the Pipestone area. And then from the North Shore, of course, the water and the rocks and the trees. And so one of the paintings is birch trees with 3 horses running on the beach and the sun coming down. And probably one of the most fun things for me was taking the Native American, the Chinese ancient calligraphy and writing the story in ancient calligraphy, which very much resembles
Native American. Really? That's intriguing.
Yes.
You know, for people who don't know, and we didn't touch on it at the very beginning, the grant that you got is what created caused you to create this
idea.
series,
Right.
and that's going to be displayed at the Arts Center. And who is that grant from?
All right, at Southeast Minnesota Arts Council through the McKnight Foundation.
Okay, so
made it possible.
You
And
applied for this grant?
I did apply. It took me 2 months. I only have a right brain, no left whatsoever. So it took me about 2 months to apply.
Okay.
And get it all together with help from a friend. And yeah, so as a professional artist, then I was allowed, I have a year from the day they said, click, you're in. And so
To complete the project that's
the
now
project.
on display
Right.
at the Arts Center.
And then I have to do a summary, and I want a lot of people to come because that counts on my
Oh, okay.
on my
So,
evaluation.
You were talking
But-
about wandering, and
Yes.
we definitely want to wander with you a little bit. I think the first wandering that I'm wondering about is, where do you come from originally? And
All
you've
right.
been in Owatonna for a while,
Right,
over
in the
50 years, right?
43
This
or so.
area?
Yep.
Okay. And where were you originally from?
Well, little years. I was born in Iowa, then Cambridge and Princeton area in Minnesota, and South Dakota most of my years.
South Dakota, okay.
uh-huh.
Anywhere near any of the Native American reservations?
Well, not all that far from
Okay.
Flandreau. I mean, yeah. And then after high school, I went to the University of Northern Iowa in Cedar Falls, and that was my first art class.
Were you studying art? Was that going to be your degree?
No, elementary ed was my degree, art minor, art and industrial arts minor. So at that time, I taught elementary ed then after I graduated.
So you, before becoming a professional artist, you were a
Right.
teacher?
Yes, yes,
And that's-
yes,
and
for many
okay.
years. 36 years, 27 of them in
36
Owatonna.
years. Wow, okay. And so most of that time in Owatonna. And,
Correct. Correct.
and so after being a teacher, you moved into becoming a professional artist.
Professional
When did that
artist,
happen?
And then, well, actually since I was 22, sort of. But I got connected to the brush. So if you're going to do the Asian brush painting, this is called a sumi brush. And I got hooked on the brush. And that really got me started with the Asian brush painting when I was working on my art degree.
And was that
all
the
of it.
first, the art degree that you were, which art degree is this? So
My
you
first
had,
one. My
Okay.
first one. And so I studied in China and also Mankato State then for my studio arts,
Okay.
which I got when I was 50. But the tools are so
50.
different.
It's never too late.
Never too late.
So what are the so
So the
this
tools are
captured
the
your
brush, which
attention.
you hold like this, and you stand. You don't sit down. You stand when you paint.
Mm-hmm.
All the sumi brushes, when they're wet, come to a tip. And a lot of the work, all of the work, will have a red seal chop on it. And this one is horse running in the middle of 10,000 miles, and this one is Dee Teller, my Chinese name.
Ding,
Ding. I say you can't say ding dong, but just
ding dong.
just
No.
ding.
No.
And the red seal ink is, a lot of it is the cinnabar.
I've always wondered about this.
it's
This
crushed
is neat.
cinnabar, and
What is cinnabar?
it's a wood.
It's a wood.
It's
So
a
this is
red-
wood,
Yeah, it's a red wood.
and it's red all the way through.
Right.
Wow. And so that is actually crushed cinnabar.
Cinnabar, silk, fibers, and oil.
Wow.
And
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a lot harder
it
than I
takes-
thought it was.
I usually do the feng shui. I do at least 36 pounds before I put it down. Okay, 9 is the
How
best.
much time do we?
9 is the best feng shui number.
Okay,
Okay,
let's
you
see.
pat it underneath. Just make sure I don't have it upside
So
down.
you pad it. So that's what this is doing here. This
This
is nice
keeps,
thick
if you
felt.
paint, it's wool, yeah.
Okay.
And if you paint on the rice paper, you need wool underneath or it goes through. Okay, so that says Ding Teller.
And so this is rice paper.
This is rice paper, and you use paper weights because you don't tape it down or staple it like watercolor.
And you said you need this because otherwise the paint and things
It
bleed
would just
through
go
the
right
rice
through
paper.
and go on and stick down on the table. So.
Okay, so when
All
you
right, so the show at the Art Center,
Yes.
almost everything is on rice paper. This one is red rice paper. This piece is just watercolor. There's two that aren't rice paper, but otherwise the whole rest of the shell.
It's right. And what's the difference with rice paper? I mean, you said
It's actually, it means an Asian painter. It could be made out of flax.
Okay.
It could be made out of rice. It could be any number of fibers that you can grind up and put together.
Can you take this out into the field with you? I mean, it's very thin and delicate.
No, that's why you wander and come back.
So
to
the
paint.
wandering is you figure it all out, you get it
Right,
here
take
and
pictures,
here,
take sketches.
and then you have to come in. And once I put something on this paper, if it's just going to soak right
You
in,
either-
can you fix it? If
No. You toss it if it's bad. Now I toss 1 out of 9. I used to toss 9 out of 1.
Can I have all of your tossed stuff, please? Okay, so
That's hilarious.
so you just kidding. So you've wandered, and in your life you've come to this, and now you've got this art show. I want to ask one quick question. This is a print. How much
Yes.
would a print like that go for?
All right. The prints, this size print are $500, but for this month show, they're 360.
Okay, 360.
360. And the small ones are usually 120 and they're 60. 90. I can't getting it wrong.
Okay, in other words, the prints are half off during July
Close
1st
to
through
half off.
26th.
They're a lot cheaper.
Okay, and
Than
so-
what you would normally
all
get.
right. So the prints are what's the top price for one of your original works?
$7,000.
Okay. So you're going to see some incredible art. Come to the Arts Center July 5th through the 26th and see Dee Teller's work. And will you be there one of those days?
I will be there on the 12th, and I will be there anytime somebody calls me up and says, meet me
Okay.
there.
All right. Thank you so much for welcoming us into your studio. We really
was fun.
appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us. Please stay with us after a word from our supporters.
Next time you need to.
Hi, my name is Dave Efforts with TPS Insurance. We're here to handle all your insurance needs. We are a very proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
I didn't just want another job, I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
I was new to town and I didn't know where to turn for a job, so I decided to express myself.
I decided to express myself, and they helped find the right career for me.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today.
Hi, this is Doug Johnson at the Owatonna Business Incubator, a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show. We'd like to welcome you to the incubator. If you're a small business, whether you're existing or a startup, we can help you with office space, manufacturing or warehouse, and free confidential counseling.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show. We are your community connection. I'm your host, Francy Hall, and I am now joined by Laura Resler from the Steele County Historical Society.
Good morning.
Good morning. So we've got some fun things happening at the History Center
We do.
this month.
Yes, we've got our 29th annual Extravaganza coming up this weekend and the Chuck Wagon Supper on Saturday, so it's a action-packed weekend.
So July 11th and 12th.
Correct.
And because it's at the History Center, we can assume, and we will learn more about the fact that there's going to be a lot of history on display.
Right.
Live history.
Living history. We actually start out Saturday evening with the Chuck Wagon Supper from 5:30 to 7:30. We have Lonesome Ron coming back. He's a traditional cowboy performer, so he does a lot of the Old West songs that you would have heard from Sons of the Pioneers. We've got our whole hog roast, calico beans, potato salad, bars for dessert. So that's a great way to kind of kick off the festivities on Saturday. And we have tickets available for that, and they're limited. So
Where can we get tickets
you
for
can
this?
get tickets at Cocky Jewelers, Triumph Graphics, and our office, and we'll be happy to hold them for you if you want to call in.
Okay.
They're $15, and children 6 and under are free with a paying adult.
Great.
Yeah, so it's a great value. So we get to have that at the History Center Saturday evening.
And it's a chuck wagon supper, so will there actually be a chuck wagon there?
No.
Oh,
it's chuck wagon in spirit.
Okay.
So,
okay.
but we don't have an actual chuck wagon.
And will there be a fire pit or anything like that?
No. Several years ago when we finally had the beautiful History Center at our disposal and the weather got inclement, we decided to move indoors. And people liked it so well that they didn't mind not being outside with the bugs and the heat. So now
Exactly. It's either going to be bugs and heat or it's going to be rain.
Right.
And so either way, it's
so
not
now
the
it's
greatest.
at the History Center, and then on Sunday, the focus really is primarily on the village because the village just comes alive with all the historic demonstrators, the music, tractor show. We've got the exhibits in the History Center that people can certainly go see. It's a free event all day Sunday. We've got the Noon Rotary helping us with our food stands, so we've got great food. We've got cake and ice cream and all the Steve's Meat Market meat products that we always have.
Great. Shout out to Steve's.
Yeah, shout out to Steve's. Donovan's been a great supporter. And so we've got just lots and lots of great activities. We've got some new things this year. We have Rendezvous folk coming in, and they're going to set up an actual encampment. And that time period is like 1840 to 1860. So that's, before the white settlers moved in.
So on display for the 12th, there's going to be, the time period that's going to be on display is what?
Basically, you'll see anything from 1840 to about 1920 at the village. So it's a big time span.
That is a big time
It
span.
is,
Well, but it's all day, right?
It's all 11 to 5, 11 to 5.
There's some time to get it.
And we have vintage baseball, and if anybody wants to play vintage baseball, they could call Jerry Besser. He's organizing that for us.
Really? So there will be pre-fielded teams, but if someone's interested in being on one of those teams, they should call him.
Yep, they can call
Who
Jerry.
Is it? Jerry
Besser at Tone Music.
Call Jerry at Tone Music for that. That sounds fun.
Yeah, that's been a popular thing, and last year our team actually won. The Rochester team was kind of the first vintage baseball team in Minnesota, and they developed other baseball teams, and they whooped us every year.
So this is not just within the community, they're playing each other. We're playing people from outside the community.
Right.
So there's a rivalry.
There's a rivalry. Yep. So the Rochester team will come in, and then there's teams in Mankato and other areas as well. So that's gotten to be quite a thing. And there's no spitting, no swearing.
No grabbing certain parts or anything like that.
Yeah, right. And then if the umpire, he's called Sir Fines a lot. So if you don't play by the rules, you have to pay him.
Oh my, it's so fun.
It is fun. So that's a great thing. That's at 3 o'clock. And then we have all the wonderful entertainment. We've got Adam Lindquist coming back as Teddy Roosevelt, and he's going to actually talk about the 1912 Progressive Party visit to Owatonna, where Teddy Roosevelt actually came to Owatonna.
Wow.
So that's what his presentation is going to be about.
Teddy Roosevelt came to Owatonna.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Isn't that cool?
That is really cool.
So we've got lots of great things for Sunday afternoon.
And but now the Chuck Wagon Supper on the 11th, that is a fundraiser of sorts, is it not? So we do want to encourage people to go to the fundraiser because that's why things like the Extravaganza can be provided for free.
That's exactly it. Years ago when I first started at the Historical Society, they had a gate fee. And, they used to take a twine string and wrap it around the village, and it just really wasn't effective. And we were
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was. You had to see it to believe it. But, we wanted people to come. And so to have it free was the best way to do that. So the Chuck Wagon kind of evolved out of replacing that lost gate revenue. So the Chuck Wagon Supper, is where that came from.
Sounds good. And what is the entertainment at that supper? It's Lonesome Ron.
Lonesome Ron.
So he sings. Does he also tell stories? And
He can, but it's mostly singing, and a lot of the songs are stories themselves. So if you listen to the lyrics, and he's written some of his own music. He's been a presenter for our lecture series as well because he had gotten a legacy grant several years ago to record this traditional cowboy music. So,
well, let me ask you that. So he had a grant to perform music, but what about everyone else is coming? Does the Arts Center pay for these folks to come?
No, these people are very generous. They supply the entertainment and the demonstrating all out of the goodness of their heart.
They must have a real passion.
Yes, they do.
That is neat. What is the history of this event? This is the...
Well, it's the 29th annual, and I think
29th.
it kind of originated as a way to showcase the village and hopefully raise some funds. So, you know, my understanding is early on they used to charge people to go into each building, and, you know, that wasn't really effective either. So then they just kind of changed the whole focus of it. In the last 13 years, it's really grown and evolved. You know, we've added the tractor show, we've added more entertainment. So it's I always say it's kind of a three-ring circus that day because there's something going on all the time somewhere.
So
you know.
just show up and you're bound
Show
to find
up.
something fun and interesting.
Right.
And of course, the Village of Yesteryear will be open for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And will there be live bodies in each of those
Yes.
Demonstrating
Yes,
something?
and then we have, you know, like the clothes washing demo. We're really thrilled to have the Arts Center is partnering with us. They're going to come by and do some children's activities. We have the Girl Scouts that help with other children's activities, so there'll be lots of hands-on things for the kids to do. So it's a great afternoon for everybody.
The community is just coming together to provide a lot of really fun and interesting and
They
hands-on
are.
things. I'm looking at this, some more of the things that you might want to highlight here about it. Obviously, for people who don't know, it's
Well-
at the History Center. So
Well, at the Village, you know.
yes, right. Yes.
At the Village, and then at the
Right,
History
so-
Center, we've got 3 exhibits. We have Steele County in the Vietnam War, Welcome to Ellendale, and then we have our companion programming to Coming of Age 68. So we have some 1960s era artifacts and things on display. I don't know if folks know Jeanette Perkle, but I think she kept every outfit she ever wore.
Oh,
and she was a
fun.
style maven. And so we have some of her beautiful garments that are just gorgeous with the shoes and the clothes
From the
out on
60s?
from the 60s that she wore herself. So that's just been a lot of fun. And Nickel the Buffalo, he's on display now again for a while. So lots to see in there in our gift shop. So, you know, people can come if they want to cool off and see things in the History Center, they certainly can. And then, like I say, we've got Fox and Coyote, a new group this year.
Music
They're-
group?
Yep, indie folk musicians. So they're coming. And we have Sunday Punch Quartet coming back. They've been a favorite. KC Men's Choir, and we'll kick off with the flag raising ceremony at 11.
KC Men's Choir. That sounds, oh, I love it when men sing.
Yeah, they do a nice job.
And what's the other one? We've got the Fox
Fox
and whatever,
and Coyote.
but what's the other one?
Danelle Lenort, you know, he's been a very popular performer for us over the years. He comes to Extravaganza and the fair every year, and he's phenomenal.
And they're all different styles of
All
music?
different styles. Mm-hmm.
So we can,
So something
we can
for
have
everybody.
a variety, absolutely. And when you raise funds, say through the Chuck Wagon Supper, for example, it helps support some of the things that go on at the Extravaganza, but also what else does that do for the
Well, you know, we've got a budget of close to $300,000, and we raise most of the money ourselves. We have the Degner Trust, which supplies about 1/3 of our annual budget. So
Wow,
then
that's
we
generous.
Yes, but then we rely on memberships, events, memorials, other donations. So the money goes into general operating pretty much from the events that we do. And then we've also developed a legacy society, which those funds, as that fund grows and develops, that money goes to education, programming, and exhibits. So the Degner money works to help with operations, and now the new legacy fund is going to help fund our education programming for the future.
That's great. There's a lot of things going on there that, you know, education-wise and just general interest-wise.
Right.
You said something about Ellendale. What's going on with, there's some exhibit about Ellendale
It's an
going
exhibit
on?
that the Ellendale Heritage Society has done, and then they are going to do a roundtable discussion about Ellendale history July 23rd. So that's coming up as well. And you know, there's a lot of great history throughout the whole county, so it's nice to be able to feature them.
Absolutely. So what else do we want to let folks know about this great event?
I think the main thing is if you want to come and have a great evening out on Saturday night, you know, get your Chuck Wagon tickets now. And then be sure and come back on Sunday, you know, 11 to 5 for Extravaganza for all the fun and excitement and all the great activities we'll have then.
Sure, and there will be food and music and activities both days. It's how much? Remind us, how much is the admission for the Chuck Wagon?
Chuck Wagon tickets are $15.
$15, and kids six and under eat
are
free with a paid adult?
Right.
All right. So I think that's probably all we need to say about what's happening. You're just going to have to come and see the
That's
rest
right.
for
Come
yourself.
on out and visit us at the village, and we'll have a great day for
July
you.
11th and 12th. Thank you so much for being
thank
here.
you.
We appreciate it. I know you're so busy. She's got 2 jobs right now, people. So thank you very much, Laura.
You're
We
very welcome. I
appreciate
appreciate it.
And we appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us, and stick with us for community announcements.
Hi, Warren Abraham, Abraham Consulting Technologies, your one-stop technology shop. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you. In mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
There's a lot going on in the community, so we want to keep you updated as usual. And so let's get started on that. For kids and families who might need some nutrition support food for the summer, just know that there are free lunches and breakfasts available. No need to register, just show up and enjoy a good meal with your children. That is going on now through August 7th at Wilson Elementary and at the Owatonna Junior High School through August 7th. Children eat free, children 18 and under. Adults can pay $2.10 for breakfast or $3.70 for lunch. 2 new exhibits are opening at the Owatonna Arts Center, and actually they're running through July 26th. We had featured artist Dee Teller on the show earlier, and wow, what an amazing woman. Very accomplished artist right here in our own community, as well as another accomplished artist, David Hyduke, who is a bronze and steelwork artist. The reception is on Sunday, July 12th from 1 to 5, and demonstrations at 2 o'clock, and then the show runs through July 26th at the Arts Center. We want you to know about the activities at the library. The Mu-Daiku Drummers will be here July 9th. And on July 16th, Mystifying Magic with Greg Skillstad. On July 9th, also in the evening, I believe it's a 7 o'clock. Yeah, 7 o'clock. Owatonna Community Band will be performing at the bandstand. On July 11th, the Steele County Humane Society, in conjunction with Kindest Cuts, is offering low-cost spay or neuter services for house cats, feral cats. Please give them a call at 763-489-7729 for more information. Upcoming blood donation opportunities with the American Red Cross, Wednesday, July 15th, Thursday, July 16th, Friday, July 17th at St. Joseph's Church here in Owatonna. For more information, call 676-6872. Movies in the Park is still going on, and on July 17th, Back to the Future 2 will be featured there at Central Park. Thank you so much for joining us. Come back later in the week. We've got some great shows coming up. We've got the Boundless Roots Organic Farm. That was a really fun visit. So come back and join us.